My dad, Karlo Fujiwara, he was a martial arts instructor and a commercial artist, and he designed the KOA logo. Whenever I'm driving or wherever I am, the logo is everywhere, and every time I see it, I feel like it's my dad winking at me and saying hello.
So how KOA came to connect with Karlo in the development of our logo goes back 60 years to when KOA was formed in Billings, Montana. Our founder, Dave Drum, saw people traveling to the Seattle World's Fair and invited people onto his land to camp, and thus the first KOA was formed.
This land that Dave Drum had purchased on the Yellowstone River was the perfect opportunity to create Kampgrounds of America. And of course, happening in Montana made perfect sense because of all of the wide open spaces and recreational opportunities that were available.
Dave knew there was potential to build a system, and so thus we needed an identifier, a logo. And Karlo Fujiwara was a local artist that Dave knew, and he invited him in to discuss the business. And together they started concepting on what that logo might look like.
My father grew up in New Rockford, North Dakota, and he was in his very formative years when World War II started. There was a strong anti-Japanese sentiment and businesses were shut down. My grandfather had a restaurant and his property was seized. Using the tools between the martial arts and his own arts and designs and creations, I think he processed a lot of it that way. In his art is reflected a lot of mountains, a lot of water, waterfalls, trees, details of leaves, details of rocks, details of whitewater rapids. My father, when he would be working on a logo, I could imagine him playing with letters. For example, the KOA, you have the straight lines of the K together and a circular O and more straight lines with the A. And I can imagine him even maybe cutting out the letters and shifting them around and playing with them and writing in different scripts.
To me, the logo is representative of home. It's a symbol that talks about safety, comfort, familiarity, what you're going to experience when you arrive at a KOA campground.
If you take that K and you make a mirror image, you get an X. And we've always talked about how X marks the spot. You know, it's a beacon and a welcome to people as they're traveling. It also, naturally represents a tent structure, which is very inherent to camping, which, represents our business.
As a little kid, I thought it was a person standing like this.
What's really special about the KOA logo is that it hasn't changed since its early formation, forward 60 years. We've never changed that logo, and that's pretty rare in marketing. Typically, logos go through evolution as their brands modernize. Camping is such a timeless activity.
I think it really is the consistency of the logo for KOA that speaks to really this initial idea in the 1960s of what they were providing, which was a safe and consistent place that people could stay at across the country. And for that reason, the logo speaks to this feeling of familiarity and comfort. I think it again feels welcoming. You know what you're going to experience when you get to a KOA.
When I started in this business, camping was largely an older Caucasian retiree activity. And now what we see in the demographics of camping is that it's shifting younger. More and more millennials, Gen Z are camping. In fact, the majority of people that camp are millennials. It's also more diverse. 60% of all new campers that just start camping for the first time are from non-white groups. Overall, the landscape of camping is becoming more welcoming, more inclusive, and that extends to us at KOA.
I'm happy to see so many people out here enjoying the great outdoors at a KOA campground, and it makes me happy to think that my dad was winking at all of them when they came in too.